It's just not advisable.
You're on.
I'd like to call to order this special meeting of the Finance Committee of the Parish of Ascension on Thursday, June the 18th. At the request of the parish president, we have called this meeting for a discussion relevant to people's water. Everyone is present. I believe that Councilman Cluot is here. Joining us now, Councilman Turner is absent. Councilman Dempsey Lambert is present, I believe. I thought I saw him somewhere. But, okay, Dempsey is not here. So we have Councilman Dempsey Lambert not present and Councilman Travis Turner not present. I would also like to mention that there will be a public comment period. If you would like to speak on the agenda item, please sign up with the secretary. You will have 3 minutes at the appropriate time to speak. So we'll go now to general business. Item number 4, to authorize the parish president, Tommy Martinez, to negotiate the acquisition of People's Water Company. Parish President Martinez.
Well, we talked to the Utilities Committee, and basically what this is about is the opportunity to buy People's Water Service in Donaldsonville, or to make an offer to do so. We've been talking with People's now for over a year about that. They kind of approached us about it at one time, and we negotiated it down and talked, and I think Councilman Schexnayder was there, Councilman Joseph, and Benny, and Randy, and we met with the people and talked to them, and at that point they kind of refused the offer that we made to them. Recently, last week, they asked us again to put that offer in writing. So that's why I'll call this meeting tonight, to get the authority to do so. I wouldn't feel comfortable making an offer to buy something without at least discussing and going through the council and letting them know all the details that were there. This gives us an opportunity on the West Bank to take over all the water. Currently, we have ACUD 1. As you know, they were almost in default, and we had to come out and save them. So there's a $5 million debt that we assumed when we did, well, the district did, but we are the district. The state's going to hold you to that, and also the federal government. So not enough room for both water companies, People's Water and ACUD 1 there. People's is, will have to go before the Public Service Commission to get a rate change in the event that nothing happens and they continue operating as they will. And they came back to us, as I said, and the gentleman that owned the company passed away, the father of the gentleman now that owns it, and I think that at this point they are looking to get out of the water business. But anyway, it's an opportunity for a lot of reasons. It can help us a whole lot become whole with ACUD number 1, because if not, we're going to continue subsidizing that system for many, many years to come. With the acquisition and with the price that we're talking about, we have an opportunity not only to work through that endeavor, but also to make a profit according to our bookkeepers, Falk and Winkler, anywhere in the neighborhood from $600,000 to $1 million a year, which would help us offset a lot of problems that we have. The long-range goal here is to merge ACUD 1 and 2 together and have one utility company for the entire parish. That would be ideal. The reason that we hadn't done that was because of the debt. We have as I said, $5 million worth of debt in ACUD number 1. And even though it's in different names, we're still going to be held responsible for that. So this gives us an opportunity to hopefully have the funds to pay off this debt, save money that we're subsidizing now on ACUD number 1, and move forward in a positive direction. It also enables us and the residents of the West Bank, which we all will share in, as far as creating new economic development opportunities. You're going to be having a series of public hearings and about changing about 15,000 acres on the West Bank to heavy industrial, which if that happens and a lot of new industry locates there, our tax base is going to grow tremendously. So, and by having the water, all the water at that point, it gives us the opportunity to not only service any new industry that comes in, but also to take over the services at CF Industries, which is a big customer that we need to have. So from an economic standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, and also from a common sense approach, as far as with the situation that we're in with ACUD number 1, it makes a lot of common sense. So I was asked to send a offer back to them. I was asked earlier about how you would pay for this. There's several options. Benny and I went to a seminar in Baton Rouge with the different ways to finance public utilities, and that was a really great meeting. We met with some people. There's an opportunity there for the low interest money like the sewer to do so. We do have, we have accumulated over the past couple years about $9 million in our sewer fund. So if we go the direction that I think the majority here wants to go with a public-private partnership, that money you could pay cash for it and be done with it. It would be over with, and or you can go bond the money and put it all, bond $5 million and maybe bond $10 million and go ahead and do a lot of improvements there. So anyway, that's pretty much the situation as it is, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. I don't know if I can answer all of them, but I'll try.
Certainly. Are you ready to open it to questions, Mr.
Yes.
President?
Motion.
I have a motion
I
to...
second it for discussion.
A motion and a second to move forward with this authorization, and now for questions. Councilman...
Yeah, Parish
Randall.
President, I guess my question is, what kind of shape is this water company in at the present?
We looked at it, Todd, and if you look in the paper today, I saw where they conforming to all federal standards, state standards. They're not
Compliance
under
and everything.
any kind of restrictions or anything else. There needs to be some improvements as the old water company, but there's about a 3 million gallon capacity there.
Okay.
Basically, right now they're using about 1 million gallons of that capacity. So another option would also be to run a pipe, hopefully get a grant, run a pipe under the river, and St. James has completed theirs. St. John isn't currently doing that, and both of them got grants to do it. And so then you could take the 2 million and service the Darrow area possibly, and the Geismar area, and then keep on moving up and hit some other areas in the parish and get into the business. I know I had talked to the mayor in Gonzales, and they use about 1 million gallons a day, and their wells, they have problems with their wells, so he said that would be a possibility that they would be open to discuss that. So that's just an opportunity there. Like I said, the way we're doing it now, it's not working, because like I said, they can't do anything, they can't move, there's not any new customers there. The ACUD 1 was projected to have 1,100 customers, they have 700 customers, so we're going to be hopping along for many, many years trying to pay that $5 million worth of debt off, whereas if we do this, we have an opportunity to go ahead and pay that off without subsidizing a whole lot. They can be self-sufficient in that regard, and hopefully some of the excess, if there's some, can be put toward the sewer system if needed.
And so how many wells do they have? Or is it just?
No, it's no wells. It's,
No wells, so
it's actually a system, a plant that takes river water, clarifies it, and it's, we've had different estimates on how if you had to rebuild that plant, it would be a lot more than what we talking about paying for.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Councilman Kluai.
Yes, I want to thank the parish president and Benny and all the utilities committee members for due diligence on this. I think one of the keynotes is solvency of our utilities district and bringing it into black, and the future of moving under one governing body for all the utilities in the parish, and we can work together to improve the parish. I think that acquisition has the potential with a great industrial client there, and definite, like you'd said before, potential for a lot more. So I don't see nothing but growth there.
Well, and like I said, this is an offer. It's not a guarantee they're gonna take it. So, you know, it's something that I thought was worth pursuing when they contacted us back again. So that's why I'm here tonight.
Good deal.
Councilman Shake Snyder,
You want to go first? I guess,
Councilman Joseph.
Good.
yeah, and I just had a little discussion with this. And once again, when you say it's an offer, this is our offer to them.
Yes,
Then it might come back and counter offer to you, and you have to come back to us again.
that's right. I would never go. There's a number that makes sense, and you can't. I would never come here and say try to throw a number at you just to buy it to say we're buying it. That's not what we want to do. We want to have something that makes sense fiscally and from that standpoint, to where it can do what we say it's going to do. And I mean, I believe the numbers that our auditors are telling us. We looked at books, and so it makes sense. And I think the people that were at the meetings were comfortable with what we talked about.
Thank you.
Mr. Shake Snyder.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. Just to give a little background for some people, thanks very much, Parish President, for really a lot of negotiating and made this thing possible. But I'd also appreciate that I know you had some meeting, at least one meeting or some other meeting with the city of Donaldsonville. I know they have a history of looking to try to purchase people's water. And so everything that Parish has done has been above board and with the knowledge of Mayor Sullivan and the city of Donaldsonville. And that's very important because, you know, we've partnered with them on a number of things that we like to continue to do, have a good relationship, and, you know, as we move forward. But as you've been involved, and all of us from the beginning with ACUD number 1, that was created because the water on the West Bank, and as you get from Gonzales on south, is beginning to get to the point it's so salty that you cannot use it, and you have to treat the water. And so the wells were not any good. And then as ACUD came on board, they had to buy bulk water from Assumption and St. James. And so the economy of scales was that we were always losing money. But it was a necessary thing. We have to do that in that area, and it's going to continue to creep northward in this parish. And now People's Water could not really make enough money because their system, they have a plant. It's an older plant, and we're going to have to put some work into it. We're going to have to put some investment into it to make it efficient. And also, we're going to have to invest, if you've had businesses and lived in Donaldsonville, you know that the piping systems need some repair, to say the least. So there's going to be some work to do, and everybody knows that up front. So for us to go out there and be able to improve upon things, we're going to have to make an investment. But down the line, the benefits of consolidating the water is going to be a great deal in us trying to get in the sewer business, because everything is predicated on being able to do water. Also, from having a great deal of meetings with people and finding out as the salt water tends to continue to move northward, Ascension Parish, I think it's going to be in the fairly near future. The city of Gonzales is not going to be able to acquire their water through their wells, and they're going to be looking for buying some bulk water or building a plant. So if we have the water that's available and we have the water for sale for the plants, that it will be an economic situation that will help assist us in funding other utilities in the parish. So the people of the parish is going to benefit, and this seems like a small thing, but this is a giant step for this parish in the utilities area. So make no mistake about that.
Councilman Malassa.
And we're talking about probably having to make some upgrades, and that the money that we have in the sewer fund and what we're offering, that's with making those upgrades is still, we think would still be okay and still be.
You know, there's several ways to look at this. You could take a certain section and you could say, we're gonna take, if we make, say, if we 600,000 a year, okay, we take 300,000 a year, and we're gonna start off with section A, phase A in, phase B in. That's the way it needs to be. I don't think you go at it all at one time. You take the area that you would think would need it the most, and that's where you start, the oldest part. Or, as I said, you can bond money, you can get low interest money, almost the same as the sewer.
I think if we had the money in there and we can make it work with what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
way.
I mean, and like I said, it's several ways. If the offer is taken, I think that's gonna be our next order of discussion. Right now, I just want to get to a point. We know that the number we would offer would work at
Would
this
put us in the right
time,
place.
and you would be in the black, and it would be something that you could utilize to either improve that system. But the key thing is to take ACUD one out of continually balancing back and forth in the red. So you're going to end up paying that for the rest of a long time, if not. So this is an opportunity not only to improve the water system on the West Bank, but also to help the parish from a financial standpoint. So to me, it's a win-win if in the event it happens. As I said, this is just an offer at this point. And as we go through the process, if it's accepted, then, or anything else comes out, I'll be right back here with you. So.
Okay, gentlemen, any further questions? Councilman Satterley.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairman. And I don't have a question, it's more of a comment. But for the record, under questions for the public that might be just seeing this meeting and had missed the previous meeting of the Utilities Committee, I and others asked questions about rates for the customers operating the system in the black. How will we fund, which came up again second time, and even others. And I thought that the President not only adequately answered these, but certainly to my satisfaction and everyone else's, I believe, we formulated a motion with a recommendation for it to be put into the full council meeting that's upcoming. But my comment is this, I didn't say it then at the Utilities Committee meeting. I see another advantage. It just popped in my head. If we're, Tommy, getting this water from the Mississippi River and we're purifying it into potable drinking water, part of the struggling that's going on in East Baton Rouge and other surrounding parishes is when you get the water off the aquifer is the salinity issue. So I assume we won't have any issues with that whatsoever, and that to me is a distinct advantage as well, and I just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Gentlemen, I thank you for your comments. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Motion adjourned, Madam Chairman.
Have a motion to
Second.
adjourn, a second. Thank you.